This is a massive mistake for the Dallas Mavericks. Ever since the firing of Nico Harrison, there have been rumors left, right, and center all over the place surrounding Anthony Davis and his future with the Dallas Mavericks. We do know that Mark Cuban does want to get rid of everything that Nico Harrison has ever built, and he wants to move forward with Cooper Flagg and Kyrie Irving. But over the last several games, the Dallas Mavericks are seeing success, whereas a lot of people would argue there's no reason to trade Anthony Davis if you're winning games, and the Dallas Mavericks are currently on a 3-game win streak, where over the last 2 games, Anthony Davis has been putting up a double-double, playing great offense, good defense, all the while recovering from an injury and playing on a minutes restriction. But there is something that came up just the other day that could throw a wrench in everything that we have going on, and that is the fact that Giannis Antetokounmpo has requested a trade from the Milwaukee Bucks and is currently working with his agent to find a new team. So in this video, we're going to take a look at the reports surrounding Giannis Antetokounmpo, and I will explain further why this would ruin the plans of the Dallas Mavericks and would force Mark Cuban to keep Anthony Davis. But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing you the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, we're currently sitting at 23,456 subscribers. If you want to be a part of the coolest channel across the entire YouTube space, if you want to be up to date on everything Mavericks related and not skip a beat, make sure you subscribe, and I'd appreciate it greatly. But there has been some sort of a divide in the Mavericks fan base. I mean, for the most part, a lot of Mavericks fans, they wanted Nico Harrison fired. They wanted to move forward with Cooper Flagg. They don't want AD here. He's always hurt. He doesn't play. But that narrative is slowly changing. There are more and more Mavericks fans that are okay with keeping Anthony Davis after he's returned from injury, looking more in shape, looking more healthy, and most importantly, playing better. To start the season, the Dallas Mavericks were not doing good with Anthony Davis. The entire makeup of the roster did not work at all, where we had to put Klay Thompson to the bench, put Max Christie in the starting lineup. Then we had to put either D'Angelo Russell, Brandon Williams, or now Ryan Nembhard as our starting point guard, since Cooper Flagg as a point guard just wasn't working. And then you have Anthony Davis, who is obviously more comfortable as a power forward. But now we're seeing more success putting him at the 5. There have been a lot of changes since the start of the season, and these changes have been working. It's been paying off, and the Dallas Mavericks are finding success. So yes, there are some fans that would rather keep Anthony Davis and continue the success and no reason to blow it up, where there are still fans that think that we should trade AD, get some picks and young players and keep it moving. And I'll admit I was one of those people, but I do enjoy what I'm seeing. I think a lot of fans would agree. Why not keep seeing what we got? And if we absolutely have to trade him, if we get an incredible package, sure. But we should stop trying to sell players for pennies on the dollar. But if we want to take a look right here, we did get the report yesterday that from Shams, Giannis Antetokounmpo and his agent Alex Saratzis have started conversations with the Milwaukee Bucks about the 2-time NBA MVP's future and discussing whether his best fit is staying or elsewhere, sources tell ESPN. A resolution is expected in the coming weeks. Now, obviously, this news isn't necessarily news. This is probably like the 5th time in Giannis' career where he's threatened to leave Milwaukee. And we kind of, if you've been following, then you really know what this means. He is trying to twist their arm to make a trade. He wants the Bucks to go get somebody or to trade for somebody, or maybe he does want to get traded. In the past, whenever Giannis does some wild thing or he says something to allude to the fact that he wants to leave, the Bucks automatically make a change that he wants. But the Bucks have been struggling this season. They're not doing that well. In fact, when Giannis hasn't been playing, they're 1-4. They are horrible without their best player. And after winning an NBA championship and 2 MVPs, it's obvious that Giannis wants to keep winning. No one wants to just win one and stay on a losing team, rightfully so. And a lot of Mavericks fans saw this and was like, yes, it's our time to finesse a fan base and get their best player because it happened to us. And we saw it all over Twitter. I'm all over the place, where MFFL Nation tweeted this out of Giannis in the Dallas Mavericks jersey. We also know that Giannis, while in Milwaukee, was coached by Jason Kidd for a short time, and obviously they still have a very good working relationship. So yeah, Giannis to Dallas, I guess, makes sense to some people, but in reality, why would Giannis want to go from one team with a losing record to another team with a losing record? Although we are slowly but surely starting to get wins, we're on a 3-game win streak and things make sense, but there are people, and I would agree as well, that it would be a mistake to just disrupt everything that we're doing and trade for Giannis. But if we take a look right here, we also found out that Giannis reportedly asked for a trade before the season started, per Brian Windhorst, saying it reportedly appeared that Giannis committed himself to the Bucks for the season in everything he said and his mood, but had asked for a trade before the season. Bucks are 9-13. I've gone 1-5 when he's not playing. Now, even though they're 9-13, we're only 8-15. We're not really doing that much better. So why would Giannis want to leave the Bucks because they're losing to go to another team that's also losing, even if we are winning? Even though we do have Kyrie coming back, I guess that could be the argument that sure, Giannis come to Dallas. But we did find out a little bit more news about this trade, that Giannis Antetokounmpo gave the Bucks a 25-game window to show signs of competing in the Eastern Conference, which in about 25 games, that would line up around the trade deadline. So if we were to trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo, that would be pretty good. If we could do an Anthony Davis and throw in a pick or a player for Giannis, I think a lot of fans would want to see that trade go through. Giannis could actually help this team out in many different ways, similar to Anthony Davis, just a little bit more healthy. But it isn't that easy. The reason why this is a mistake is the fact that if Giannis has made it clear to the league that he wants to be traded, we are not going to get the best trade package for Anthony Davis. That ship has officially sailed. If Anthony Davis was at the front of the line for trades by trade deadline, yeah, Giannis pushed Anthony Davis to the back. Any package that we could have gotten will now go towards Giannis. And anything that we would get would just be the little scraps at the end of the trade deadline. Even if it was at the final hour, if we wait for Giannis to be traded, or if we just pull the trigger on whatever offer we get, we will not get the best package available if Giannis really truly wants to be traded. But it still isn't that simple. We take a look at a few more things here. The Milwaukee Bucks are not expected to open up a Giannis Antetokounmpo sweepstakes to the entire league per Brian Windhorst. Giannis Antetokounmpo will get to pick a team, and Milwaukee will try their best to get a trade done with his preferred team, which does change things. There are teams that are obviously interested. If we take a look here, the Knicks and Spurs will aggressively pursue Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Knicks sounds interesting. They have Karl Anthony Towns, where a lot of Knicks fans have voiced their concerns that they're not happy with Karl Anthony Towns. If Giannis truly does want to go to the Knicks, then I would imagine that Karl Anthony Towns will be the trade piece. And then he got the Spurs. If you paired Victor Wembanyama alongside Giannis Antetokounmpo and De'Aaron Fox and all their good young players like Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, that would just be unfair. The entire league got to stop. The whole season needs to stop. You got to investigate the Spurs because some crazy black magic is happening. But if that's where Giannis wants to go, then they would obviously have to move salary and move players to make it work. So I guess it wouldn't be that bad. But what does help the Dallas Mavericks, if you want to trade Anthony Davis, the fact that this is not open to the entire league, this is only open to the places and teams where Giannis wants to go, then maybe, just maybe, we don't get the worst trade package back. But I would still argue that you do not get the most back because Giannis is now available. Teams are going to line up. They're going to throw anything that they have to get Giannis, while we just kind of sit back and just wait to see what we get for AD. And honestly, that's fine. If we can't get a good trade package for Anthony Davis, then don't trade him. Keep him. If we're playing well right now and that continues until Kyrie Irving returns, then keep him. Maybe we can't win a championship this year, but maybe there's next year. You don't want to give up too soon, especially when things are just now starting to look good. And another thing that we got to take a look at right here. This Twitter user tweeted out saying, Giannis is pissing me off. Nobody's going to trade for AD if there's a chance they get Giannis. My point exactly. Nobody's going to pick up the phone to talk to the Dallas Mavericks unless it's about a 3-team trade, including Giannis. So that kind of puts things in perspective that we're not going to really trade for Anthony Davis. I truly do believe that Anthony Davis is going to be a Dallas Maverick by the end of the season. But come the summertime, things could definitely change. But the last thing we're going to take a look at is this right here. Is that Bucks say Giannis Antetokounmpo has a right calf strain. In last night's game against the Detroit Pistons, early in the first quarter, Giannis goes down, which looked like an Achilles tear. A lot of people were commenting how it looked like he was grabbing his Achilles as it was a non-contact injury, but it was officially ruled a calf strain, which in the upcoming days, we may hear more. It could be worse. It could be less than that serious. Some people think he's faking the injury because he wants to be traded, but it is unfortunate that the same day that he announced he wants to be traded, he also gets injured, which maybe we could swap just Anthony Davis for Giannis because he's injured. Maybe we can just finesse him like that, but that I highly doubt. So if Giannis Antetokounmpo is currently injured and he is dictating where he wants to go, there's no reason to trade Anthony Davis. We're not going to get a king's ransom, even if he is healthy and just balling out. They're going to line up for Giannis. They're not going to line up for AD, and that's okay. The Dallas Mavericks are on a 3-game win streak. Things are working for us. Ryan Nembhard is looking like the steal of the draft. Cooper Flagg is looking like the rookie of the year. And Anthony Davis is coming back to form. I am currently okay with how things are as long as they improve. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think it would be a mistake to trade away Anthony Davis knowing that we're going to get nothing? Or do you think that we just got to do what we got to do, trade who you need to trade, and just live with the results? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for starting the video. Make sure to check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. And as always, y'all, take care, drink water. Peace.